Alpine has once again released a new floating panel receiver to their Halo series head units. Since the release of their industry-leading iLX-F409 a few years back, they've added several units to their Halo lineup. This model replaces the entry-level iLX-F209, but comes with a few extra key features, so stay with us as we explore Alpine's new iLX-F409. Hey, I'm Josh with Breakers Car Stereo, and we'll be going over all the features that this radio has to offer. We'll also compare this against all the other Halo radios in the Alpine lineup, along with the previous model, so that we can narrow down the differences. We'll also do an unboxing, a full demonstration, and at the end we'll go through the pros and cons list along with our overall rating. Now, if this is your first time on our channel, we want to thank you for joining us. Consider subscribing to our channel where we go over the newest and best in-car audio. Okay, let's get moving and check this radio out. This radio has a 9-inch WVGA capacitive touchscreen and fits into a single DIN opening. Built-in Bluetooth for hands-free calling and music playback, and wired Apple CarPlay and wired Android Auto. Sirius XM control, SXV300 required, and this unit is iDataLink compatible. Separate iDataLink Maestro RR required. If your vehicle is not compatible with the Maestro RR and have buttons on your steering wheel, this unit will accept a pack or access steering wheel control module. 6-channel true 4-volt preouts and 45 watts times 4 max or 18 watts times 4 RMS of internal power. Single rear camera input, but if you need an additional camera, there is a switcher that's required. Two-way crossover networking, so you have high pass for your front and rear speakers and low pass filters for your sub. 6-channel time correction and a 5-band EQ. Now I know what you're thinking, a 5-band EQ, that's it. Believe me, I think it should have been at least the 9-band, but that would definitely have increased the price. Single rear USB input for your smartphone or thumb drive, MP3, WMA, AAC, and FLAC music file playback. Also, AVI and MPEG-4 video file playback. And finally, this radio does have an HDMI input and also an HDMI output. Pretty unique for a floating panel radio at this price, which is currently $699, but is subject to change due to supply chain issues, material costs, and also other things. So here are the features that the previous model did not have. iDataLink Maestro compatible, giving you the ability to retain and display factory features like steering wheel control, climate controls, and the vehicle information center. And the other feature that this radio has that the other one did not is HDMI input and HDMI output. Versus the other units in the Alpine lineup, the iLX-F409, now that has a 9-band parametric EQ, but only an HDMI input. And then the iLX-F411, that is an 11-inch monitor and only has an HDMI input as well. Okay, let's get to the unboxing. All right, so here we have your manual. And then these are gonna be all the necessary parts. So solid, you got your harness, RC inputs, look like some camera inputs there too. USB extension, these are the brackets that go on the side of the monitor. You got your Bluetooth mic, and then the clip for the Bluetooth mic, and then this is your iDataLink Maestro cable. So this is the same size as the iLX-F409. Actually looks pretty identical. And then this is your back plate. Now, guys, when you're installing this, if you don't put this on along with the screw, and this goes in between the screen and the body, so that goes in there like that. If you don't have that in there like that with the screw, it will not turn on, okay? So ask me how we know that. And then finally we got the body. The screen attaches like that. And then there's the ability to either move this in a couple directions. If you loosen this screw, this will move and then you can bolt it down. And then also too on the side, you can move the screen up and down as well so that the fitment is good. So on the back side, you have your harness input, your preamp input, and then your USB. Looks like that's for the iDataLink. And then you have your HDMI input and output, and these are recessed, so that's nice. And then you also have your antenna input, Bluetooth mic, and then that wire is for the Sirius XM. Okay, so this is your main screen. From here, you can scroll to the right, and you have more options and sources available to you. If you wanted to switch things around, we just hold this button down here, and then if you want to move things to different spots, you can definitely do that. I'm just going to kind of leave everything as it is. I think it's perfectly fine. All right, so you have your radio, your camera. So this gives you on-demand access to your rear camera, which is nice. Apple CarPlay is hooked up right now. If I had an Android phone, that would be highlighted and I would be able to go into that. Here you have your audio, USB, video input, Bluetooth, Sirius XM, directly to the phone, photos, and here you're able to upload photos and use them as a back screen, HDMI input, and then settings. So let's just go ahead and go into settings. And then here we have our general settings here for each source. You got radios, Sirius XM, language, there's wallpapers and themes. So here, if you tap that, then you're able to pick the color you want here. And then again, if you want to use a wallpaper, custom wallpaper, you can do that in this menu. LCD customization, so you can adjust the dimmer. And this is the key illumination level here on the bottom. That's adjustable. Your clock. And then you have your rear seat entertainment. And here you're able to select the output. So let's say you do have a rear view monitor that accepts an HDMI input. You can go ahead and turn that on, and then I'll switch it over. And then you can just hit auto. You don't necessarily have to select the format. And then your steering wheel position, either left or right, and then iData link. So this is your iData link menu, and here you're able to select what you want to display. But that will also depend on the vehicle as well. Okay, then you have connections for your Bluetooth information, your camera, you can set on or off with the guidelines, and then sound. So here you have your media expander, and this you have a couple different levels, 1 to 3. Then you have EQ presets. So you have these presets based on the type of music, but you can also get in here and adjust the equalizer. So here's your graphic EQ. And on here, you just pick the band you want to adjust, and then you can either move it up and down or hit the up and down button here, okay? Now here, I skipped over this, but this is balance, fade, bass, and treble. So you do have some bass and treble controls as well, in addition to the equalizer. And then you also have your subwoofer level here. And then phasing can be done 180 or 0. Then you do have your time correction. If you're not familiar with this, how to set this up is you take a measuring tape from the middle of the speaker, let's say on the front driver's side, and then you measure from there to the middle of the headrest, and then you would continue to do those with the other speakers, and that will give you your time correction, also your subwoofer as well. Okay. Then here you can select your subwoofer on or off, turn your rear speakers on or off, and then defeat. Okay, so this radio does not do any type of mirroring, but you can mirror your phone with a couple cables. So here, if you have an iPhone, what you would do is you would just plug in your HDMI input, obviously, and then you would use this cable here, plug that in to your HDMI, and then you would go ahead and plug in your phone, select that. Might take a couple seconds here, but that'll mirror right through, and then you can play whatever you want here, whether it be YouTube, Netflix, whatever it may be. So that's coming directly from my phone. And obviously it works the same with an Android as well. So let's go ahead and go over the Apple CarPlay features. All right, so once you plug that in, it'll say you're connected, and then you would select here. And then from here, you have all your music sources, your mapping, text messages, audiobooks, Audible, XM radio. You can use as an app. You don't necessarily have to have the hardware in order for the Sirius XM to work. If you subscribe, then you're able to access it through your smartphone as well. Okay, so here's a cool CarPlay feature that many people don't know about. So let's say, for instance, I'm listening to the radio and I want to navigate to the nearest gas station. I can simply say, "Hey Siri, directions to the nearest gas station."
1 sec. One option is 76 on North Oxnard Boulevard. Let me know if I should call one of them or get directions for you.
Okay, so that will allow you to use the CarPlay without actually going into the CarPlay menu in order to access it. So that's pretty cool. I like that feature. You can also tell it to play music as well. So, "Hey Siri, play music by Drake."
1 sec. Drake now playing.
Okay, so that will do that as well. So there's a lot of cool features on a CarPlay that you're able to use via just Siri. You can also do text messages. That's also done on here. So if you get a text message in, here we'll go ahead and text Sal real quick. "Hey Siri, text Sal video creator."
What do you want to say?
"I'm testing CarPlay, text me back."
Your message to Sal video creator says, "I'm testing CarPlay, text me back." Ready to send it?
Yes.
Okay, it's sent.
Okay, so I think that's a super cool feature because you're able to actually text message people while you're driving around without having to touch anything. We're actually having to grab your phone. So if he texts me back, if I tap that there, it'll read it back.
Saw video creator said hello. Would you like to reply?
No.
Okay, no other messages.
All right, again, so that's pretty dope. I like that feature, especially if you got no teenage kids that you can't keep the phone out of their hand. It's just a good feature for them to have as they're driving around. I mean, granted, they probably shouldn't be on their phone anyway. When you're not looking, you never know what's happening. But at least this gives you the assurance that, hey, they actually can send text messages without looking at their phone. Okay, and this is your Android Auto. Scroll down the page to get to your apps. And then obviously you have all your music apps, Spotify, Pandora, iHeartRadio, things of that nature. And then also your maps as well. Okay, Google, directions to the nearest gas station.
The best way to get to Oxnard gas station by car is via North Oxnard Boulevard and will take about 1 minute in moderate traffic.
Okay, so obviously it does the same thing with the voice command. You just gotta tell it what to do and it will allow you to do that hands-free. So that's Android Auto. Okay, pros and cons, starting with the pros. A nice, big, bold 9-inch screen, a true 4-volt pre-out, iData Link compatible, two-way crossovers, time correction, HDMI input, and HDMI output. And cons, only a 5-band EQ, and I would say no wireless, but at this price point, you just really can't expect that. This is a great radio, and because it has all the right features at the right price point, we're gonna give it a 4.5-star rating. If you would like more information or to purchase this radio, just head to our website, and remember, we do have financing available. Simply add to cart, apply, get approved, and then we'll send this radio out to you as soon as possible. So click here to go directly to the product page or click the link in the description below. And make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Again, I'm Josh with Breakers Car Stereo. Thanks for watching.